there's a part of me hoping Red Barrel Games doesn't attempt to outdo itself in terms of sheer gore and shock value with each new title. Yet there it goes, every time, specifically with the Outlast series. However, unlike the first two titles, the Outlast Trials is multiplayer-focused, where cooperation and survival are as essential as gaining and losing your sanity, in-game and figuratively. From forcibly removed faces and mannequins committing unspeakable acts to gore in the style of home decor, I really can't overstate enough just how disgustingly brutal it all is. After almost a year of early access and 6 years of development, the Outlast Trials stands out as a solid horror title and multiplayer experience, even with some nagging issues and a fundamental shift from the single-player game. The result is a title that leverages the dread and oppressing atmosphere of the franchise in a less contemplative, faster-paced, and more frantic fashion. Considered a prequel, the Outlast Trials sees players answering an ad for the ever-lovable Murkoff Corporation. It's seeking volunteers for its experiments, but one hooded and abusive trip later, things aren't what they seem. A venerable house of horrors that familiarize you with the controls, mechanics, and deranged aesthetic that Murkoff is going for. Think less horror chic and more jigsaw fanboyism mixed with excessive gore. It's one act of debauchery after another from that point, but the onus is clear. Give in to therapy, remake yourself, and freedom awaits. It's easier said than done, however. There are 5 trials across 5 unique maps, with demented individuals like Mother Gooseberry and Sergeant Leyland Coyle hounding you. Murkoff also likes to release X-Pops into a match, ranging from machete-wielding psychopaths to creeps that douse you in chemicals to lower your sanity. Losing some sanity causes the screen to bend and hallucinations to kick in. When it's all gone, the Skinner Man fully manifests and relentlessly pursues you. In between all this, you hunt for keys and mutilated corpses, grind bodies, electrocute seemingly innocent individuals, refuel and repower generators, and more. The trademark night vision camera from previous games is now a set of goggles fused to your head, but it still requires constant recharging via batteries. You can only carry a few items at a time, further adding to the tension. Things only take a more demented turn as you progress further, but the one thing that stays consistent is the strong map design. Each trial, whether it's at the police station or fun park, is well-paced and packed with challenges despite all of the common objectives that begin to crop up from map to map. Like pushing things across barricades, which must be deactivated, or checking corpses for the correct symbols and corresponding keys. There are some unique twists. Have you ever thrown hearts at targets to progress through a twisted theme park? Would you like to? Kudos to Red Barrels, though. Just when you think you're numb to the sheer audacity and gruesomeness of it all, the next trial ups the ante further. Not every unique objective, like tuning the radio waves, is a winner, but they're executed well enough to make for some enjoyable repetition. Though it's playable and winnable solo, the co-op mechanics defining the Outlast Trials are apparent from the get-go. The focus is on enemies relentlessly pursuing and bashing, drilling, electrocuting you, but they won't chase past a point in their respective zones. Grabbing their attention and kiting them is important in multiplayer, but in solo, that often means shorter windows to do the necessary tasks. Regarding the pacing, it exchanges the psychological build-up that the series is known for something more immediately frightening. Still, as annoying as constantly hiding and resetting an enemy's aggro can be, there's no denying the tension that results as they loudly smash their surroundings while you hide, hoping they don't discover you. The AI is mostly on point in this regard, noticing players through windows and checking their surroundings amid sounds of broken glass before stomping off. Mostly is the key word, because sometimes they fail to detect your presence mere inches away. Don't underestimate them, especially the burlier X-Pops when they get their hands on you. Of course, you must also account for trapped doorways and mines, which can either shock you or release toxins that reduce sanity. Map knowledge and careful observation become vital over time, as much as you feel lost or the primal instinct to flee kicks in during the tenser moments. Relying on that knowledge helps keep things from devolving further. Memorizing hiding spots and locations for items from batteries and health bottles to antidotes and lockpicks is as important as knowing how to complete the objectives. Once you have a trial or two under your belt, you can return to the sleep room and confer with vendors, like Cornelius Nokis, an engineer who sells 4 different rigs, each providing a tool on cooldown that can briefly turn the tides, especially blind and stun. Heal is decent in a group, especially when there aren't enough healing supplies to go around, while X-ray feels borderline useless at times. Each rig has upgrades to improve its utility, whether it's increasing the range of stun's explosion or X-ray scanning consumables through walls. Emily Barlow, the pharmacist, hooks you up with prescriptions for passive benefits like slowly healing a bar of health if it isn't completely depleted, while Doris provides amps that can change up your playstyle. You purchase these with vouchers earned per therapy level, with new cosmetics, from outfits to room decorations, available with in-game currency. Next to the major antagonists and the ever-present Dr. Easterman, these vendors are your connection to the narrative. Their voice acting is on point, even if their facial animations are almost non-existent. Though you can collect evidence folders to glean more about the current situation, how Murkoff gets its test subjects, and who the X-Pops were. The plot is pretty straightforward. Those who care about the series' lore will find several connections to the previous 2 games, though your character and their growth throughout all of this feels secondary. Given that the whole premise is completing all of the trials, and their small MK challenges, 2 per map, to gain tokens to escape, it makes some sense. Long term, it depends on how Red Barrel intends to develop the plot over time, even if some aspects feel like a foregone conclusion, given its prequel nature. There's the weekly therapy with unique variations and a selection of MK challenges culminating in a trial. For example, you may start with 2 lockpicks and encounter stronger enemies. The Outlast Trials is a worthwhile co-op horror experience, though its longevity will, as always, depend on long-term support and updates. The foundation is solid, despite some grievances here and there, and it looks great while delivering excellent performance. Sound design is equally solid, even if you tire of listening for your heartbeats to die down as enemies get further away. Solo players may want more, and it can be frustrating without other players to share the load and back you up. Nevertheless, as far as multiplayer horror titles go, the Outlast Trials is one of the best, and well worth diving into if you have the stomach for it. That's all for now. If you enjoy what you saw, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, now is a great time to subscribe. We upload brand new videos every single day. After subscribing, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time, right here on Gaming Bolt.